Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and I am documenting my journey learning how to code. If you're new here, I have nothing to sell you on this channel. My only hope is that you will follow along and maybe connect with me in the comments. I'm going to pick up right where I left off. If you need to catch up though, I will drop the links to my first couple of videos in the description below. All right, so where did we leave off? First of all, this is actually my second time recording this video, and I will tell you why. After my preliminary research, I deduced that I was ready to start building my web app, which is a very straightforward kind of a combination of a journal and a daily planner. And my intentions were to create a very, very, very rough draft of the front end, just so I had something to work with, and then tinker with the code and all the junk in the back end to refine it. And the reason for that is because as an aspiring developer who has very minimal experience with tech, code doesn't mean much to me. If I change something in the code, I don't necessarily know what that's going to look like on the front end. It doesn't mean anything to me. I knew for this project I was going to leverage an AI coding assistant, and I knew I was going to use Cody from SourceGraph. I started there. I went on the website and I went on the product page for Cody. I don't know what I was expecting. I was thinking that maybe you would just use Cody and like boppity bop and it would spit out an app, but that's not how it works. You have to connect Cody to something, but what? So thankfully SourceGraph makes this really easy. I went on their website and it says right on Cody's page that it works alongside these things. The only name on that list that I recognized was Visual Studio Code, which historically I do not have a great relationship with. I think if you know how to use it, I know it's amazing. When you don't know how to use it, it's a nightmare. But I've used it before and I wasn't about to start learning any of the other stuff on this list. I thought, why would I do that? Make my life harder. So I opened up Visual Studio Code and I followed the directions on SourceGraph's website for connecting Cody to VS Code. And that was pretty manageable. I did it by myself. Good job. I also downloaded the desktop app for Cody. I didn't know if I was going to need it, but I wanted it. I wanted to have it just in case. So I have VS Code open with Cody integrated, and then I sat there and I stared at it. And I was like, now what? What the F do I do with this? Understanding from a very, very, very broad perspective what Cody does, what AI coding assistants do. I thought, all right, I'm just going to fiddle around with this. And I put in the panel where Cody is, build me a simple water tracker. And the reason for that is because you might recall from this stunning artwork, I don't want to talk about it, but I sketched out some of the features that I want my app to have, and one of them is a water tracker. So I asked Cody, build me a water tracker. And it spit out all this stuff. It spit out code. I had no idea what it was. And I thought, very naively, that I was going to tell Cody what to do and it was going to spit out the front end. That's where I was wrong. You guys, I was so far off from where I thought I was. When I say I was so far off, I mean, like, I live in Vegas. I was in Missouri. So, in true fashion, I became irate. I was so frustrated because I had no idea what the heck I was looking at. My husband, Otto, comes into my office and I said, what is this? This is not an app. And he said, yeah, it is. And I said, no, it's not. He said, yeah, it is. And I was like, no, it ain't. And he looked at it and he said, that's Python, which I know is a programming language. And I said, what am I supposed to do with this? So he tells me, well, you take the Python and you do this and you do that and you put it here and then you put it in the terminal and then you run it and then la 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 la. And my brain, that is not what I was expecting. I already knew I was like fast forwarding through a lot of stuff, but I still underestimated how much I was skipping. And so I told him, well, I thought that if I did this using Cody and VS Code, it would give me that. He was just like, oh, no, but that's cute. Much to my chagrin, I am taking a very big step back. It's okay. I was just shocked and astonished and frustrated that I wasn't anywhere close to the part where I get to be creative and build something. I skipped a million steps. So I talked to the auto a lot, and then I went to Twitter and I started talking to a lot of you. And I asked you, as an aspiring programmer, what do I need to learn first? And a lot of the answers were the same: HTML and CSS. Okay, I need to start learning HTML and CSS. So I signed up with Codecademy. I took the free HTML course, I finished that, and I am still in the middle of the free CSS course. What I really like about Codecademy is that when you're in the middle of a lesson, it splits your screen into 3 panels. In the panel on the right is the lesson, the reading, and then they give you directions for like new code to add into the middle panel, which is where you're working with either HTML or CSS. And then on the right panel is the front end, which is exactly what I needed because code doesn't mean anything to me. So that's been immensely helpful. Then I realized, after spending a lot of time in Codecademy, that the middle and the right panels are really helpful, but I wanted that same thing, but where I can mess around with anything. In Codecademy, the code you're adding to that middle panel is what they're telling you to add. And if you don't add exactly that, it tells you you're wrong. So I just wanted free reign to play around with HTML and CSS however I want. Turns out that exists. Otto introduced me to StackBlitz, which is essentially the middle and right panel of Codecademy. So what I'm going to do today is share my screen, and I'm going to build a couple things using HTML, and these are things that I think I'm going to need for my web app. If you're new to StackBlitz and you're new to programming, you're gonna love this. And yeah, we'll just spend a few minutes tinkering around and see what we get. Okay, so here we are in StackBlitz, and it's kind of funny, when I first opened this, my first immediate thought was, what the heck is all this junk? And I learned what it was. I learned in Codecademy. A lot of this stuff is helping to break up the sections of the page. So there's the head right here. There's the body. We have the main, which contains, like you can see, homepage here. So main is going to contain everything you want to put on the page. All of that is wrapped in the HTML tags. So does it make total sense? No, of course not. But did I have a vague understanding of what was going on? Yeah. I learned this in Codecademy. So I know that what I'm going to be messing around with for now is in the main section. And the first thing I wanted to do, and again, I'm just here to play around. I said when I was talking about what I want the app to look like, I want the title of the journal entry to be the person's name, because psychologically everyone's favorite word is their own name. So there's me. And then I'm going to create a new line here, a new row. One thing that I have that I know I want to build in this app is a place where people can enter their top 3 priorities for the day, their top 3 chores, and those should be fairly simple. So the first thing I could start playing around with is an ordered list, which you create by adding the OL tag, and that stands for ordered list. And then you need your list items, which you create like this. And since I'm doing the top 3 things, it's like magic. So there's my top 3 things. But top 3 what? So I could add an H2 in here saying top 3 priorities, and there it is. But the thing here is that this is just a list and there's nowhere for people to type. Okay, so I need to add a text field. I don't remember how to do this off the top of my head, so I'm gonna Google it. So I'm gonna search text field in HTML. Oh, have I looked at this before? Oh, that's forms. I don't need that right now. Well, do I need it? Do I need this? I do need this. This is what I need. So I want people to be able to add a short line of text. So I think I would need this, but that counts as a form. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna play around with it. We're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna give myself some room here. This just helps my brain work. When all of the code, when all of the HTML is crammed together, it confuses me. So I'm gonna start building a form. and see what happens. And then in the form, I know that I'm going to want 3 text fields. So I'm going to take this. Oh, shut up. What? But why are they all on the same line like that? I don't like that. But hold on. Okay, I still like the idea of these being numbered. So is there a way to do it like this? I'm gonna delete this. So again, what I'm trying to do is I have these 3 places now where people can put their top 3 priorities for the day, but I want to make them numbered. I honestly don't know if this is the correct way to do this, but let's see if it works. It did work. Oh, and that puts it on a new line. How cool. And then the last one. Oops. Why is there a number 4 when I didn't put a 4? I don't know why it's doing that. Why is there a number 4 there? Oh, it's because I forgot this. Boom! That's pretty cool. I know it's not pretty, but I just built it. So if someone has their top 3 priorities, work out for 30 minutes. That's so cool. Read 20 pages and walk the dog. So that is the basic feature I was looking for, where someone can enter their top 3 priorities. And of course, there's a lot more I would want to add on to this to make it look way prettier. But it's so cool that I took a free course on HTML and I understand now how to build this. And what I don't understand, I at least know what to search for, what to Google to get the help that I need. Prior to that, like, you don't even, when you're learning how to build things, like, sometimes you don't even know where to look because you don't know what you're looking for. You just know that you don't have the information you need. So then I could actually, I think, take the whole thing and paste it again and say daily chores. And that's another section of the app I wanted to include. I wanted people to be able to write their top 3 chores. Okay, I feel like I'm getting way ahead of myself. I've still got like a bee in my bonnet about the water tracker, because that was the first thing I had tried to build with Cody and failed miserably because I didn't know what I was doing. So just for funsies, I Googled, how to build a water tracker in HTML, which I didn't even think was possible without having the underlying code. But just for funsies, I want to see what this looks like. It might be terrible, might not work, but that's okay. And I've done nothing to this. I'm copying and pasting it. Oh, shut up. That's pretty cool. Okay, I think this is what Otto was talking about. I think in order to make it functional, I would probably need the code underneath it, because if I understand what he was explaining to me, what he was saying was that the code, whether Python, whatever you're using, is what makes it so that someone could go in here and say, I've had 250 milliliters of water, and the tracker would update accordingly. This doesn't have that. I don't know if it's because I just haven't gotten far enough yet, or if it's because, again, I need the code under it. Oh, and also the CSS to make it look much better than what this is. But it's pretty cool how far, JavaScript. There it is. This is what I would need, I think. This is exactly what Otto was talking about. You need the code, the HTML, and the CSS. This is only the HTML. So that's why it's only going to take me this far. It's cool when you're able to start seeing how everything fits together. I get now why HTML isn't enough and why you need to combine it with the other pieces of the puzzle. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's it for today. I know I don't have any huge updates, which is kind of what bummed me out a little bit about the setback that I had. I really thought I was going to be able to power through it a little bit faster, but that's okay. And this is a realistic experience. If you're trying to learn to code you're probably going to run into the same stuff. I keep getting reminded over and over again that you cannot rush through this. There's just too much to learn. The resources I mentioned in this video, Codecademy, I'm loving it. You can use it for free. Honestly, I might upgrade at some point because there are other features like quizzes and I think extra lessons that you can access if you pay. StackBlitz is where you can play around with HTML and I think also CSS and JavaScript, it says. So it must offer all three. I haven't gotten that far yet. And also earlier on, I told you about how I played around with Visual Studio Code and Cody from SourceGraph, which you can also use for free if you are in the same position as me and you are just beginning your journey learning to program. I mean, you can play around with them if you want, but you're probably not going to know what to do with it because Cody's amazing, VS Code is amazing, but if you don't know what you're looking for, you're no. All right, that's it for today. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's something else you think I should learn in addition to HTML and CSS, drop me a comment. If you have any requests for upcoming videos, drop me a comment. And if you're still here, give this video a thumbs up and tell YouTube that you like my content. See you later.